welcome back to my channel. I'm Rebecca, and around these parts I'm known as the Clueless Homemaker. I don't know much about anything when it comes to homemaking or any of the other things that go along with being a wife and a mom. I've had to learn everything, and I have come quite far in the last 12 years of my marriage and 11 years of being a mom, but there's still so much that I am just shocked that they let me have these kids and that I'm not in trouble for being married. It's weird. But anyway, I'm so glad that you're here. This is episode 2 in my productivity series, and today we're going to talk about a scary word: minimalism. I used to hate that word with a passion because whenever I would hear it, I would think of the color beige and scarcity and not having enough and sleeping on the floor. I thought that if I were to become a minimalist, it would mean I would have to give up everything that brings me joy. I thought I'd have to give up color and books and toys for my kids. I just thought that I would have to give up, and really have nothing to show for it. I mentioned to you guys in episode 1, which I'll link above and below in case you haven't seen it yet, about how I got started on this journey to being a more productive version of myself. And it started because my New Year's resolution was to become more productive. And I quickly realized that to become more productive, I was really going to have to declutter. I was going to have to declutter not just my house, but also relationships. I was going to have to declutter my emotions, my thoughts, my spiritual journey, my spirituality. I knew that to get better in lots of areas, I was first going to have to dig through all of the crap and really get rid of a lot of stuff. Probably 3 months into this journey of decluttering, I discovered what minimalism really is. And I discovered that minimalism is not about getting rid of all of your earthly possessions, but it's about sifting through and getting rid of the things that really don't matter and the things that are holding up head space and physical space, so that you have more time for the things that you really do love and enjoy. If you're somebody like me, for example, that loves to cook, you might have this idea in your head that minimalism would mean that you'd have to pare down your menu to the same 5 things night after night after night, just on repeat, to live this boring life, that you wouldn't get to experiment with different flavors and cultures and spices, because that's what I thought. Maybe you don't think that, but that's what I thought. And I realized that by decluttering and minimizing the things that I really don't care about, or the things that are bringing me anxiety, like, for example, all of the homeless clutter that I had in my house, that by taking care of those things and minimizing those things, it was going to allow me to maximize my time researching recipes and cooking and baking and shopping for those things. We all have the same amount of time. So if I'm spending my time moving the same object from different place to different place because I don't know where in the heck in my house it belongs, that's time taken away from doing something that I truly love doing. I realized that I was going to have to minimize my things in order to maximize my life. I first started by physically decluttering, and it's 9 months in, and I'm not completely done with my house yet. But I'll tell you, I live in a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, and I'm done with the kitchen, the linen closet, 2 of the 3 rooms, and 1 of the 2 bathrooms. And my homeschooling area. And the freedom that I feel is, if I had known that I could feel this free, I would have decluttered a long time ago, and I would have started on this journey to minimalism a long time ago. I realized though that to start on this journey, I had to get rid of a lot of stuff. I've always been a really sentimental person. I've always held on to things because I believed that the feeling or the memory of that thing was locked in that item. I have a bin full of my girls' clothes that I've held on to for a really, really long time in my garage. Not even a place that I go to. It's not even a bin I take down and look through. But I've held on to these things, like this little dress, because in my mind, the memory of each of my girls wearing this dress and the feelings I had seeing their cute little tiny toddler bodies in this dress was wrapped up in here. And I was afraid that if I got rid of this, I would lose that memory or that feeling. But starting on this path to minimalism, and it really is a path, it's not a destination, it's something I'll be doing for the rest of my life. Being on this path has made me realize that my memories of my girls at this age, or the feeling I have that I had at this age, isn't in this tiny little dress. My love for them and my memories of them at this little toddler age is way too big to fit in this. But I was afraid that if I got rid of this, if I donated this, that I would somehow lose that. And I realized that it was the same with everything. With the hundreds of books that I had read once and kept, I was afraid that if I got rid of them, that it somehow took away the fact that I had read them, that I had loved them, that they had somehow stirred something in me, that they had made me think, that they had brought me closer to the Lord, that they had brought me closer to my husband or my kids, that they had brought me closer to myself. I thought that if I gave that book away, I would lose that somehow. But I've realized that when I'm able to get rid of these things, I have so much more room for new memories and new feelings. If you're like me and you feel overwhelmed or unproductive or scared of the future or full of anxiety, try taking that first step to minimalism, which is realizing that your things are not you, they're not your memories, they're not your emotions, they're just things. And by getting rid of those things, not only are you able to declutter your life and have more time for the things that really matter, but you're able to make room for more amazing memories, more amazing feelings, more time for the ones that really matter. And another thing that I've realized in this is, while I was holding on to this little dress in a bin in my garage, I get so upset at them when they do things like leave their clothes on the floor, because it's, you know, the same thing I've asked them over and over and over again, to pick up their clothes off the bathroom floor. And nearly every single night after they go to bed, I go in their bathroom and I pick up those clothes and I put them in the hamper. And I think, I reminded them, why can't they just put them in the hamper? Why is it so hard for them? It's so aggravating. Don't they know that I'm tired and I'm busy and my time matters just as much as theirs? But I realized during this process that I was holding on to clothes that they'll never wear again. So I made a commitment to myself to help me keep the memories that I was afraid would be lost by getting rid of this dress alive. Instead of complaining when I'm picking up their dirty clothes off the floor, I'm gonna start thanking God for the 2 sweet girls that He gave me. And as I pick each one up, I'm going to remind myself of something I love about them, or remind myself of a memory of them from that day or that week or that year or 5 years ago, or when they were born or when I was pregnant with them. And instead of holding on to some old dress while I complain about the work I have to put in to the current dress, I'll focus on the good and the lovely and the beautiful parts of this crazy life of motherhood, and I'll stop worrying that I'm going to forget the past and start really living in the present and appreciating it. So I am going to go throw this in my donation bin, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.
Yesterday there was sun and there was rain, beauty in the mundane. And as the light startled our eyes, we let go of disguise. And now there's something